new email angle to the Sushant mystery has emerged. We bring you another sensational scoop in the Sushant death case. Sources are now telling Times Now that Rhea had allegedly been tampering with the late actor's emails. There was also some activity that was logged even after Sushant's death on the 14th of June. Not only that, sources are also telling us that Sushant's call records, the call data records, CDRs, have shown that he had frantically tried to call Rhea multiple times between the 8th and the 13th of June. This is what we're bringing to you right now. More and more details coming in, confirming that there's a lot that is happening that is murky in nature. Tuhin Sinha joins us now. He's a leader of the BJP. Sanjiv Sen is a senior advocate. Arvind Nishad is a spokesperson of the JDU. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, and Ravi Singh, advocate, joins us as well. Vikas Gupta, who's also a lawyer, also with us right now. So we have a lawyer-heavy panel, but I believe this is the right panel for what we know as of now. Let me start, if I could, with Avi Gupta. Avi Gupta, more and more details coming to the fore now. Sources are suggesting to Times Now that even after Sushant's death, Rhea Chakraborty somehow had access to the emails, and there is evidence that she also logged on to those emails. Now, the suspicion and the apprehension here obviously is that somehow Sushant's emails were tampered with. Although I can't say that with certainty, but you understand where the finger of suspicion will be pointing towards right now. This is again a case of the murky nature coming to the fore. All right, we don't seem to have Avi right now. So Sanjiv Sen, if you can hear me, again, the same question to you. We are, of course, breaking yet another angle to it right now. So do you believe, given the murky nature of the situation and the fact that almost every day new facts are emerging, new theories are emerging, a CBI probe is the best way forward?
I have been maintaining this position for some time now. That there are so many allegations, counter allegations. Some are facts, some are true, some are not true, some are allegations. But the fact of the matter is, at this point of time, all we need to see is what are the allegations and taken at face value. Now, what are the facts what are the allegations that we are seeing, and what are the facts we are seeing today? The secretary commits suicide or whatever, I don't know, a week earlier. His net worth is supposed to be 59 crores. A man who is worth 59 crores committing suicide is a little bit difficult to digest. He was apparently partying the night before. Now, why should a person who was partying the night before commit suicide? Now, there are also allegations of withdrawal of 15 crores by Rhea Chakraborty from his account. Then there are allegations of blocking his family. In fact, his father has apparently, way back in February, filed a complaint with the Mumbai police to get into the allegations, but nothing was done since February is what the father says. Now, the servant who had said that there was a party suddenly changes his stand and says there is no party. Now, these are allegations, counter allegations of a very serious nature. So therefore, the truth has to come out. Okay. And the way the investigation was being carried out was not inspiring much confidence.
Mr. Sen, please hang on. Today, just stay on with us because we have many more questions. Vivek Narayan, my colleague, also joining us right now on the story. Before I go to my guests, Vivek, very quickly to tell our viewers, yet again, it has come to light and sources are indicating that if Rhea had access to the emails, the suspicion and the apprehension that somebody, if not Rhea, somebody else could have tampered with it, it's a very real apprehension.
The series of coincidences or accidental discoveries that are being made by investigators is piling up day by day, hour by hour. In fact, Atar, the latest evidence, that the latest information that we have is that email accounts of the actor were accessed by Rhea till recently. His family also, his sister also had access. There was one point where both of them were accessing it and they had access to it, but Rhea accessed it somehow and after accessing changed the password. She has made sure the family cannot have access to his email account. Now it is imperative that the family knows what is there in the emails, knows whom she's been in touch with, what are his computer details. Now this, any investigator will tell you, it is imperative and it is central to any kind of criminal investigation on looking the cyber evidence on what he has said, whom he has interacted, about bank details also. That's the third important point which has come, which is also entirely in that email. Now we are also being told by those involved in this entire process that she has managed to delete some of the things that were there in his email address. This could include bank statements, this could include other details. Now, as I said, one by one, more and more details coming out of that.
Thorough digital forensic investigation, of course, would make sure that nothing was completely unretrievable, and that, of course, depends on the investigators. Thank you, Vivek, for joining us. Let's go back to our guests on this as well. Vikas Gupta, along with Avi Singh, joining us. Avi Singh, the demand for the CBI probe already being made, not just by the Bihar police. I believe the DOPT has already issued a notification here. But given the fact that there is so much apprehension about a possible botch-up, perhaps even a possible cover-up by the Mumbai police, about its inadequacies initially as well, do we then believe on this panel the CBI probe is the only way to go here, given, of course, also given the fact that more and more developments are coming to light, not just by Times Now, but also investigators as well?
Well, I'm actually really surprised by the comments which I've heard thus far with regard to botch-up investigations, etc., because here's what we know. Somebody died. The Criminal Procedure Code has a particular procedure that if somebody dies, the first thing to determine through an inquest, which is a 174 proceeding, which can only occur in Mumbai, whether it's a suicide or something which is a homicide, an unnatural death caused by somebody else. Only on that determination will there be one kind of inquiry or the other. Bihar has no jurisdiction. So what they're transferring to the CBI, I fail to understand. Perhaps I don't have enough experience in criminal law, but I've been practicing that most of my life.
But
so the question here is everything is being turned upside down. First, and I'm surprised, you're right in one instance.
With all due respect, sir, we've heard that before, going strictly by the letter of the law.
No, but let me finish. I'll finish in a moment.
No, I understand. I have a follow-up for you. Sir. I understand strictly going by the letter of the law. I've heard this argument before on Times Now by certain lawyers as well, not just you, that Bihar police has no jurisdiction, and let's assume we agree with that for a second here. But there has been much more evidence, I don't know if you can call it evidence strictly in a court of law, but much more developments that have come to the fore have suggested that there are many unanswered questions on why the Mumbai police did not show any alacrity when they were completely in the know of the situation Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput was leading up to his death as well.
I'm not defending the Mumbai police's actions. What I'm saying is, what is being investigated? Is it a murder or a suicide? That has to be determined by the inquest. And if everybody is so interested in an independent inquest, then the government should have brought in the Coroner's Act, which has been pending since 2008 for an independent coroner's office to determine the cause of death. Now we don't have that. So the current law is that the executive magistrate will determine the cause of death.
Okay, understood. But there are many more questions, and I want to go back to the jurisdiction issue. I have to take a very quick break right now. When we come back, we'll talk to our other guests. Please stay tuned. We're just getting started here. The Salian family has issued a statement saying the media is harassing them and making unsound allegations. They've also said that they do not have any issues with the probe, and by alleging rape, etc., the character of their deceased daughter is being dragged out in the mud. They, of course, have registered their complaint and they're not too happy about it. Having said that, let's quickly go back. I have very little time on this. 3 minute बचे हैं मेरे पास. निशाद जी, तो अपना आंसर जरा छोटा रखिएगा. बिहार पुलिस ने तो दे दी है रिक्वेस्ट, डीओपीटी ने नोटिफिकेशन भी जारी कर दिया है, लेकिन जैसे आपने लॉयर को सुना अभी सिंह को कि जुरिस्डिक्शन तो बनती ही नहीं है किसी और की सिवाय मुंबई पुलिस के. That is not correct.
Can I answer that?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Nishad.
No, I'm Sanjiv Sen. I can't hear Nishad. Can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead. We have a little time. Go ahead, sir.
You see under section 177 and 178 of the CrPC, that is the Code of Criminal Procedure, the investigation could have been taken up by the police where the cause of action has arisen partly in one place and partly in another, and when several acts have been alleged to have been committed partly in one state and partly in another, both states police has the jurisdiction to carry on. Now, Mumbai police undoubtedly has the jurisdiction, but Sushant's father is alleging several acts did
we understand that. I get your point also. Ravi Srivastava wants to come in. Ravi Srivastava, very quickly.
Yeah, Atar, I just want to say that the kind of impression being created is a media trial for this girl, Rhea Chakraborty. What I want to say that this email business that he was logging into the system and all those things he was doing, she was deleting certain statements or bank statements or whatever it is. Let me tell you, I am a practitioner of cyber law. Nothing can be eliminated from the system.
No, I agree with you. Nothing can be deleted permanently. A digital footprint is permanent. I agree with you there. No quarrel there, sir. No quarrel there. No quarrel there with you at all. Digital footprint is permanent. Okay, Tuhinsina, respond. A media trial. Tuhinsina, media trial is overlooking the basic tenets of a criminal investigation, that is to conduct an investigation in complete privacy and secrecy. That's not happening in this particular case, Tuhinsina.
Sir, in the last few weeks, the state government has behaved in a very spurious manner. And the way the investigation, they have tried to derail the investigation, the matter of jurisdiction goes for a toss. If they are systematically blocking investigation, I'm asking you, based on all the WhatsApp chats which are being played out on your channel today, why has Samuel Miranda not been investigated till now? He is the critical link. And if Rhea Chakraborty and Samuel Miranda are both absconding, and if the lawyer of Rhea Chakraborty is the same gentleman who's representing the state government as the special public prosecutor on Palghar, then the state government has a lot to answer. Jurisdiction is a very trivial
valid
issue
point.
over here.
It's a valid point, Tuhinsina. Vikas Gupta, if you can, try and answer that point. The same gentleman who was representing the case in the Palghar case came under so much scrutiny. Is the same person the point person for this?
No, Atar, most important thing is, everybody says that the Mumbai police has not done this or Mumbai police has not done. How are politicians or media, especially your channel and another channel who claims themselves to be Sherlock Holmes of Indian journalism, how do you have access that what Mumbai police have so far asked the witnesses or not? How are you?
With all due respect, sir, with all due respect, investigative journalism, and if you're accusing us of investigating journalism, I'll take that as a compliment.
No, Atar, it's far more than investigative journalism. Let me tell you one thing. It's purely and purely media trial. The kind of words that was used for Disha yesterday when I was on a show on a leading English news channel.
On a different channel. No name calling here, sir. You will not find any name calling, at least here on my show, on Times Now. We refrain from all of that. Sorry, gentlemen, we are completely out of time on this, but the debate will continue on the various developments and the aspects of the investigation here. I must thank all of you who joined us, even though albeit for a brief period of time.